Big news, President Trump with an executive order that he says is going to lower healthcare costs for Americans. But to talk about that is the head of the AZ Bio Board of Directors, correct? And her name is Joan Kerber Walker. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You know, this is a very important topic, and it's one that your listeners and your viewers care about.
Yeah, and when we first heard it, it made a lot of sense to me that we need to do something to lower healthcare costs if we can, especially on prescription drugs for Americans. But I want to get a different perspective. What are your big concerns about this as it is written or as you've seen it written?
So the president made an announcement on Monday, the 12th, that we would institute as a country most favored nations pricing. Mm-hmm. And that what that means is that for every drug, they're going to look at large countries outside of the United States, look at what the best price is that they get, and that's the price that we will have as a nation. And that makes perfect sense when you hear it, right?
Right.
But there are some other factors that weigh in that are going to make it very challenging for his administration to implement that within the 30-day timeline that the president has requested.
So is it the timeline piece of it, or is the plan yourself? Do you believe the plan itself may be flawed?
So both have challenges, and we can kind of talk through those challenges. So when we talk about access, and just to step back, so AZ Bio, or the Arizona Bioindustry Association, which is a mouthful, so right. We say AZ Bio, is an organization of over 300 companies, organizations, and institutes in Arizona that employ over 365,000 people. And those Arizonans are all working to make life better for patients. That means patients have access to the medicine that they need, and equally important, that it doesn't burden them financially in the process.
Right.
And so we want to lower the drug costs in the United States. But today, the United States does subsidize research and development for the rest of the world. And that having our president step up on that is great. Implementing is important. Now, I know that you love our veterans.
I do.
And they know that it's not just the plan that's important, it's how you implement and execute on the plan. And so what we have to look at is in the 30-day timeline that the president has set forth, how can they do that in a very complex U.S. healthcare model that isn't structured like those other countries?
But do you agree in principle that when the president says we want research and development, we encourage it, but America shouldn't be solely subsidizing it? Do you agree with that principle?
Absolutely. Because when we look at the world, most of the developed world has a single payer system. And that means that you have one monopoly to negotiate with. Mm-hmm. Monopolies abuse their power, and we have seen other countries do just that. Mm-hmm. And what they'll say is, if you don't meet my price, we won't put your drug in our country. That means if we have a new cancer drug that we have worked decades to bring to market to save lives, the companies have a choice. You can save lives and eat it, or you can walk away. Now, sometimes they walk away. So Canada is a great example. So here in the United States, we have many more new medicines available to us than are available to them. And exclusively in the United States, 82 medicines compared to their 41. So 50% more life-changing medicines. Do we want to go on the Canadian system?
Right. Do you think, very quickly, do you believe that this will be sorted out, that the 30-day timeline may be flexible, and do you believe that in one way or another this will be sorted out and we will get on a pathway?
I want to preface this with, I have not had a conversation with the president on this. But what we have seen with the president is he uses big announcements to negotiate. And he's done a pretty good job of doing some negotiating. And so I would hope that this becomes more of a trade discussion where his trade negotiators are going to these countries and saying, the rules are going to change. And, we want you to start picking up more of your fair share. Now, he also in that EO talks about the supply chain and specifically the pharmacy benefit managers. And the pharmacy benefit managers and other different pieces of the supply chain are actually about 50% of the healthcare dollar.
Well, I appreciate the time and the information. I think this is something the American people are obviously very focused on. This is a very complex situation. Hopefully we'll have another conversation about this in the future. We'll be back. Coming up.